We got an update on the Supreme Court in the Donald Trump immunity case. We have everything slowly moving forward. There is only a fixed number of days left by the end of the month that the Supreme Court has to answer all of the outstanding requests, appeals, and everything else, including the Trump immunity case. So by July 1st, we will have a definitive answer. Now, there's a couple of ways to look at this. All right. The Supreme Court will be kicking it back down to the courts. That's the only play they have. They can't give him immunity or give any president immunity as a blanket that will cover everything. So my guess, my thought on this is they will basically break it up into leaving it up to the states to figure out what exactly is a presidential act and what exactly is a personal act. And if the states determine there is a personal act or something like that, then he does not get immunity from that. I believe Scotus will probably put a couple of different parameters in their decision that they say constitutes a personal act or constitutes a presidential act, but they will definitely leave a window to make sure the decisions are made by the states. Once those decisions are made by the states and this case is ruled and handed down, essentially, judges in the J6 case, we've got Judge Chutkin sitting there waiting, Jack Smith waiting. They are ready to go to trial. They are waiting for this to come down. This will also come down and land on the documents case with Eileen Cannon. She's doing scheduling games basically to delay this past the election, which that's in her power. That's why she's playing the game she's playing. But Judge Chutkin and Jack Smith are ready to roll on the J6 case. Fani Willis is ready to roll on her case. There's an Arizona case, there's a Missouri case, there's cases for the fake electors all over the place. But the J6 case may actually be in court and beginning by August, September, which means we may actually get a lot of that evidence out in front of the voters before this election. So that is a good thing. The Supreme Court can't push this past July. It has to go right down to the courts. And the second it goes down to the courts, you know damn well Chutkin and Jack Smith already have all the paperwork ready to go. So here comes the one decision, boom, there's the filing, and it's on. And Chutkin can schedule this right around the corner. She doesn't have to get approval from Trump's people. She can literally say this starts in 30 days, bam, and it starts in 30 days. So she gets that decision July 1st. It can start by the end of July and August. It's up to her. So that's a good thing. That is a good thing. Plus, it also makes all the other cases that are going on nationwide, they start rolling too. So they couldn't do exactly what they wanted to do, but they tried their best to delay it as long as they can. That is the takeaway from the Supreme Court. That is the takeaway from Judge Cannon, and that is what Trump wants to do all the time with everything, especially in these cases. And in retrospect, that is what he's always done his entire life. When he got sued by people he didn't pay, he would delay it until they ran out of money and had to drop the case. Delay is in his brain at all times. This particular case, it has to do with lying to the public in order to get the votes, trying to keep evidence about January 6th. How much evidence do you think is going to come out in this trial? What do you think his diehard followers are going to say about the amount of evidence that is going to come out in the J6 trial? And the J6 trial is looking at August, September to start. There is nothing anyone can do with that because it'll go right to the states. So feel good, ladies and gentlemen. Feel good about justice. Feel good about the future in this country, and feel good that there's going to be more evidence about Donald J. Trump, and maybe, if we're lucky, even a verdict before this election. Stay diligent, stay educated, and be kind. We are all in this together in every way, shape, and form. And the way this country is structured, there are guardrails in place. And those guardrails are starting to show themselves and containing many of the nefarious plans behind the scenes. Get out and vote. That is the most important part of all this. Vote blue, down ticket, take the states back, take the federal government back, take the House, keep the Senate. Keep it blue. Because that's when women get their freedoms back. That's when these crazy laws stripping every female right freedom from them That's when education becomes education again, and actually educational books go back into the libraries. That is when we have our freedoms back. We're allowed to speak, we're allowed to converse, we're allowed to actually share ideas. That is what this country is supposed to be. That stops Project 2025. That stops all of these crazy laws on the state levels that are already in place and that are actually trying to be put in place. Vote blue all the way down ticket puts an end to all of this. And we can make sure justice is served not only for Donald J. Trump and his actual crimes, evidence-driven, in a fair justice system the way it's supposed to be, and all of the senators, all of the Congress people that are also involved in J6, all of that evidence is coming out before this election too, or at least a big chunk of it, which is going to affect how their, how their future and their jobs are. So, yeah, this is a big thing. Bring it on, Scotus. Justice is ready for you. God bless.